In fact, a lot of the haters get caught up in, I would say they get caught up in the idea that they're doing it for some type of, it could be a petty reason, a higher reason, but it's going to be involved with physical reality almost certainly. They're probably not going to attribute it to something as abstract as love, as deep as love. In fact, a lot of these people would think the idea is cheesy or ridiculous, that I'm criticizing this person saying this because of love, or you know, putting this comment down because of love. Sure, that's why I'm doing it. They'll think it's the most ridiculous thing in the world. I mean, they would think someone like me would sound the same. In fact, there's a lot of people who, when I speak about this, people close to me, at least a number of them, whoever I share this with, look at me a little wild when I give certain information like this. But yeah, they would think it's just Looney Tunes, the idea that, oh yeah, I made that critique of that person about that person's movie, that person's show, that person's dress, that person's suit, that person's face, because that was just the truth. I was just telling them about themselves or whatever the reason they give. But they'll tie it to something physical or some petty reason, and they're not gonna realize, no, they're actually doing it for love. Because whether you're actually putting out something, putting out negative energy or positive energy, the root reason is love. But the overwhelming majority of the human population just would not know that or appreciate that or take that seriously, because you have to evolve your consciousness in order to take something like that seriously. So you have to be able to see it, because I'm going to give you a lot of information, but understand, depending at depending on what level you're at or where you're at in your consciousness when you're hearing this, it's going to be something that goes in one ear and out the other, or something that really sinks in and you absorb it. And then even if you absorb it, that doesn't really, that there's infinite levels to how you can get a thing, okay? How you can understand a thing. You can understand a thing at an intellectual level purely. You can understand a thing at an intellectual level and emotional level. You can understand things at an intellectual level, emotional level, and a bodily level, and spiritual level. You see what I'm talking about? You can understand things at levels that are just so far beyond your understanding now of many basic concepts. I mean, you could literally understand a piece of cake differently than you understand it now, infinitely deeper than you understand it now. I mean, right now you see a piece of cake, frosting, frosting, milk, eggs, to make it flour, dough. Obviously you make the dough, and you put that together. You have your cake, but you could start to dig into where these items come from, all the ingredients that are in these items, how they affect your body, the history of these items, how these will make you feel, how a food item like that, such as cake, will make you feel as compared to another piece of cake, a lemon cake, chocolate chip cake. So that's obviously a side point. But anyway, getting back on the main topic, yes, so people who do the hating are not going to acknowledge why they're doing the hating, or they will, but they're going to have a warped understanding of it, and you can't blame them. That's how they're currently wired. In order to have a fuller, more comprehensive understanding of certain concepts, you have to unwire certain ways of thinking, and this is deep internal work that takes real time and dedication, a day-to-day consistent type of thing. All right, let's jump over to Candace Owens and Boyce Watkins. Now, I'm not going to spend too much time on Candace Owens, because I will say about Candace Owens, I mean, it's clear, it's far more clear what she's doing. So things that come off as hate are, in her mind, is far more for a central purpose, but it's far more directed and specific. The necessity of it in her mind is money, but also loyalty to the Republican Party, to conservatism, to her fan base, things along the lines of that. but it's pretty much, it's all of course connected to love from these things. And of course, getting more money gives a person opportunity to do things, experience things, and be in situations that allow you to experience more love. But we'll get into that point, at another time in terms of money and how that affects your ability to experience love in life. But yeah, but Candace Owens was mentioned just because, well, yeah, she does. She'll go pretty hard on black people, trans community, gay people, Democrats, all that stuff. But it's directed and it's clear what she's doing. So not as much confusion there, I would say. Uh, Boyce Watkins, I mean, it's not super confusing to me, but it's a little more, subtle, because Boyce Watkins, if you listen to his philosophy, how he talks about things, how he speaks about things, I mean, you would think he's very, Democrat, probably Democrat, more centrist, not super centrist, probably more off to the left, but not as left as other people, because I mean, and part of his leftism might actually sort of be a facade. It's confusing with Boyce Watkins. My sense is I hear a lot of criticism from him towards, ironically, black people, even though he's very much about black people getting money and all this and that. But he's throwing hate. He's throwing hate just randomly out of the blue towards people like Dale Hughley, Charlemagne the God, which that's cool. You do you, but don't act like you're doing it for some higher reason, like you're doing it to have black people's backs or this and that. I mean, let's be real, boys. You're doing it for love. You're doing it for love. You're doing it for love. You want attention. You wanted the attention D.L. Hughley gets. You wanted the attention Charlemagne the God gets. Period. That's just what it is. I mean, you consider yourself probably more intelligent than them. You're in the know. You study money and you study concepts that other people essentially wrote or essentially came up with, conceived of previous to you reading them and memorizing them and interpreting them and passing a number of tests, doing your studies to get your PhD. Essentially, you put in work to study money, to study economics, to study the monetary system, to understand how money works, but understand money is always changing. How we do commerce, how the economy works, how the economy evolves, how it affects people, how it affects agriculture, how it affects other states, how it affects other countries, how everything's interconnected. Everything involved with money is always changing. The concept of money itself is far more digital today. You have Bitcoin today. Okay, it's far more difficult to counterfeit money today. Money is generated in different ways. Even the weight of money is technically different than what it used to be. The weight is pretty high. People give it a lot of, it's up there, but everything about money, evolves. So stuff that people study or what people study in books, whether it's economics, whether it's marketing, whether it's political science, whether it's philosophy, whether it's astrology. I say astrology. I don't know how many people take that seriously. There's legit stuff when it comes to astrology, and that's gonna make me lose probably all my credit with everything I'm saying here. Light went out again. 1 second. Yo, got that on. That's some bad shit I just did right there. Yo, but anyway. So to boys or people like boys, understand. Just because you went to school, however many years, and you studied money, you were taught about money and the economic system. Yes, it's it's impressive that you did that. It's impressive you got your degree, but it's always limited because information is always changing. How money is used is always changing. How people perceive money, how people attain money is always changing. Anyway, but that wasn't really the main point. You more so thought you should be paid attention to when it comes to politics. So I kind of went off a side issue because I know you're very much the money guy, and you tell black people how to get money. And I'm sure you're good on that. You probably know how to get some serious dough. But we're gonna keep it on the main topic because I'm getting off point, I'm straying off the point. Okay. Anyway, politics. Yes, politics is always changing. In terms of race, in terms of the demographics, in terms of how politics is done, in terms of candidates promoting themselves, promoting their ideas. What's considered truth, what's considered not truth, what conservatism is, what liberalism is. Obviously, what's liberal today, is far, 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 far. It's far more conservative than what is it going to be 100 years from now. And conservatism is far more liberal, okay, than what it was 100 years ago. So politics is always changing. Who gets listened to, who's relevant is always changing because everything's so interconnected. It's widespread and we can share information on the internet. It's the digital age. All right, people have a say. You could read some books, you could do some studies, you could talk with professionals, other professionals about politics. It doesn't mean you know the whole story. 300 plus million people in the country, 7 billion plus, and we're moving close and getting there quick. 8 billion we'll be at soon in terms of people on the planet. And you think your fraction of an understanding of politics, your fraction, a fraction of the other people you may discuss politics with, is everything. The D.L. Hugleys and the Charlemagnes, obviously their opinions are especially relevant too. They got a platform. All right. And if people trust their information, they trust their information. You let these people get their money, man, and you get your money. But you're doing it for love because you can't get the kind of love you want. And I'm not talking about a finite love. Okay. Don't attribute what I'm saying to the woman you're with or even the friends you have. But do you love yourself, boys? Do you love yourself? Okay. That's right. I spent too much time on you, dude. And honestly, it's all love. You're a smart dude. You've said a lot. I definitely respect. And I'm just saying this shit because, I don't know, it's fun. I'm just having a blast doing this because I love doing this. I'm just giving my ideas. Don't take me too seriously. I don't take myself too seriously, as you see. You do you, boys. But maybe find love in a more mature way. Anyway, audience. Y'all, dope. But check it out. This video, I'm early in this. I don't want to shit on myself, but this video on why haters need love, is half-assed compared to what I'm going to release in terms of money being the root of all truth. That's going to come out in a couple of days. Thank you so much for listening, man. I appreciate it. I am loving this, man. I got so much more to share. And look, I'm actually really doing this in terms of putting myself out there and speaking on these videos. I'm new to this, man. I'm new to this, but I'm loving it. And I have so much to share. So all the rough edges and where I'm off and where it's not as concrete and concise and clear, oh, trust me, it's going to get honed in time. All right? We're gonna hone all those edges. We're just gonna sharpen this whole thing up because I have love that I want to communicate with my words, with my understanding, with my experience. It's just love. It's just love. And for the haters, you feel a way towards anybody, anything. You want to bring someone down. You're looking for love. You're looking for love. And even if you think I'm wrong and you think I'm crazy and you think you're right and you think I don't know what I'm talking about, it's not going to change the fact that you're still looking for love. All right. Anyway, this was fun. 2 days, December 24th, I believe, when I'll be releasing Money, the Root of All Truth. All right, love y'all. Boys, Candace, I love y'all too. It's all love. Okay? And by the way, here's a compliment for y'all. Y'all have been very effective because I'm speaking your names. No one knows my name. They know y'all's names. So you did something right. But do your best to use your platforms to spread love. There's nothing wrong with that. And guess what? If you spread love, you get it back. All right. I'm out.